From the Philippines to the world. We are on Facebook Live on Eagle News and also on our streaming site, eaglenewslive.com. Watch us on our YouTube channel at Eagle News. I am Cesar Vallejos. Welcome to Open for Business. Join me discover the latest news and information in business around the world. Stay ahead of the curve from vision to action. We welcome you to this milestone event for Open for Business as we celebrate our 100th episode. And there is no better way to celebrate our 100th with the holding of the show's first digital public forum with the theme MSMEs in the Fourth Industrial Revolution and how small businesses can survive the coronavirus crisis. Joining us today is the President of Eagle Broadcasting Corporation, Ms. Rowena de la Fuente de Imoy.
Good day, everyone. The world we live in is not the same world that we know. We are in a different world right now. For the past weeks, the common words that we hear around the globe are social distancing, quarantine, and lockdowns. COVID-19 is changing the world and how we live in it. But this pandemic should not hamper us from our everyday lives. Thus, Eagle Broadcasting Corporation has transformed our scheduled Open for Business Forum event into a digital public forum to help flatten the curve in the spread of COVID-19 and in response to the government's implementation of enhanced community quarantine. Under the theme MSMEs in the Fourth Industrial Revolution, OFB is conducting its first digital public forum today, streamed on Facebook page of Eagle News, YouTube channel of Eagle News, and EBC's streaming site, eaglenewslive.com. We opted to do this digital forum instead of converging people into one place because we want to reach more audiences across the globe and help MSMEs cope with the impact of the coronavirus on their businesses. This digital forum is also EBC's response to adapt to the work-from-home initiatives of businesses to avoid the spread of the virus, as we also took advantage of the technology to stay in touch with everyone. The general public, especially the MSMEs, would want to hear insights from the experts on how to deal with the current challenges and keep their businesses afloat. Later, you will hear from our speakers their thoughts and share their experiences. What we have to do is tune in, learn, and discover how we can all adjust and equip ourselves with facts, relevant information, and knowledge that we will need to live in these interesting times. Congratulations to Open for Business on its 100th episode. To all of you who are watching from your homes, have a good day watching the Eagle Broadcasting Corporation's Open for Business Digital Public Forum.
Thank you very much to our EBC President, and we also thank the co-presenter of Open for Business Forum, Globe My Business. Joining us today are distinguished speakers, and we are happy to have them today. We have to discuss how your small business can survive the coronavirus crisis. Ms. Kathleen Yu, CEO of Rumaraket.com, to discuss technology solutions for managing your business during COVID-19 is Ms. Frances Kaluya, Industry Marketing Manager for Hotels, Restaurants, and Cafes of Globe My Business. And to discuss franchising in the digital age is Ms. Bubbles Lim, General Manager and co-founder of Easy Franchise. We also have the real estate industry, the COVID-19 crisis, and 4IR. We have JM Figurasin, Manager of Lobian Realty Group. And also from Australia, Mr. Jamie Getgood, Director of Getgood Consulting, leading in fire. And later we have the Secretary of and the Director General of the Anti-Red Tape Authority, Secretary Jeremiah Belhica. And to discuss from branding to ROI, step-by-step guide to start your online business empire is Chris Dayagdag, Online Business Success and Digital Marketing Consultant of multiple corporations and CEO of Web Design Manila. And to tackle payment automation, a power tool for MSMEs, is Alfrederic Cardenas, co-founder and CEO of Jungle. And watching from their homes are correspondents and volunteers and viewers from different places and countries, specifically our international bureaus. The world that we live in now, as Ms. De La Fuente said, is not the same, and it is also experiencing the fourth industrial revolution. The first revolution used water and steam power to mechanize production. The second used electric power to create mass production, and the third used electronics and information technology, or IT, to automate production. The fourth industrial revolution, or 4IR, or FIRE, according to Klaus Schwab, the founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum, is building on the digital revolution characterized by a fusion of technologies between the physical, digital, and biological spheres. These emerging technology breakthroughs include artificial intelligence, robotics, the Internet of Things, autonomous vehicles that includes drones, 3D printing, nanotechnology, biotechnology, materials science, energy storage, and quantum computing. While a lot of us, especially the micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, are still learning how the FIRE or 4IR can transform our businesses, here comes COVID-19. The COVID-19 pandemic is forcing cancellation of travels, gatherings, slowdown in manufacturing, and the economic damage is mounting across the world. Governments are now faced with a dilemma between choosing the safety of their peoples or the pumping up of their economies. That is why we echo the questions raised by fire trainer Karabo Moloco, the CEO of Unleash Institute. She asked, could the COVID-19 pandemic be the impetus that accelerates the adoption of digital solutions? Could the global economic devastation from the worldwide outbreak be the catalyst that ultimately leads to the embrace of the fourth industrial revolution? And how will MSME survive the coronavirus crisis? Our first speaker will talk about adaptive strategies for small businesses in these interesting times is Kathleen Yu, a graduate of the University of the Philippines and the founder and CEO of Rumarocket. Rumarocket is an end-to-end talent management that uses skill-based assessments and big data analytics to help companies identify and engage the right talent for their needs. She is a 2017 Go Negosyo Entrepreneurship Awardee and a Kairos Fellow. Miss Kathleen.
Thank you, Cesar. Glad to be here today. So right now, a lot of us are basically waking up with a feeling of grief. Basically, most of us take it for granted that the days that we experience will be the same, and our day-to-day routines won't have a significant change. But what's happening right now is the coronavirus crisis has jump-started a lot of big shifts relating to the fourth industrial revolution, and it's changing the way we work, um, the way we live, and the way we do things on a day-to-day basis. So I'd like to discuss what that means for the future and how small businesses today can actually develop adaptive strategies to move forward in this kind of an environment. So when I discuss something like the COVID-19 crisis, a lot of it is basically rooted in a concept called exponential growth. So we have cases that can increase from 100 to 1,000 in less than a few days. And that basically creates the sense of us not really being in control of what's been happening and not knowing what's happening next. But the reality here is we're in the middle of a paradigm shift. And normally, when we have a lot of changes to business, to commerce, all of us are actually in the process of that change in the moment. So we don't really feel it. But when a paradigm shift happens, what that means is the rules that govern how businesses work, how lifestyles work, how environments work, all of that is now under question. So it used to be that when companies work, we would have a once a year planning process. We would implement a set of policies, implement and then review after a year. So that kind of a model no longer works in this kind of an environment. You have to develop a process where you can have a hypothesis, you can test quickly, you can measure, and you can scale fast. So you've seen a lot of solutions over the last few weeks where you have tech that's pushed out to address the coronavirus. You have families in China under quarantine who develop robots to do their shopping for them. That kind of scale fast business model is the business model of the future. It's the idea of individuals, employees having control to make decisions quickly instead of waiting for instructions from their bosses. And it's the idea of basically empowering people around the world to scale up the kinds of decisions they make in this kind of an environment. So here's an example of how it looks like in practice. In ad agencies, traditionally, you would spend a lot of money on a billboard. You would hire expensive designers, copywriters. It would take weeks of approvals. And then basically after every person every boss okayed it, basically that's when you release your ads. But modern ads today are different. You can basically preload different designs. You can test and try on Facebook or on Instagram. You can mix and match different messages. And basically, you need to be able to respond fast to trends. So when you apply this kind of a model to a business, you need to look at three aspects. So people, productivity, and value. So let me go into each one by one. So people basically looks at the difference between a top-down model where you wait for the boss to make an instruction before you do something, and a decentralized squad model where the boss gives an instruction, and basically what happens is the people around in small teams find a way to execute it quickly. For essential employees, the challenge is a bit different. You have people coming in, they have the risk of getting infected. You want to minimize that. So a good example is control lines. So a control line is basically a process where you designate where a person can go in their day-to-day routine. So large companies, normally they have an accounting department, they have a sales department. But what some companies in Singapore are doing is they're getting a small group of accountants, they're combining them with a small group of salespeople, a small group of marketing people, and then they're putting them into their own squads where the control line is defined. Second one is firewalls. Basically, it's something like, for example, people still line up to do the physical shopping, but the physical shopping isn't something that's exactly necessary for companies to, for customers to be able to get the products they need. So something like taking a picture of the supplies, cutting out the process where a customer roams the store is actually a good firewall for groceries operating now. Third is hotspotting, and fourth is contact journaling, which is basically tracking the process where people go day to day, identifying who gets sick, and then isolating the people around them. So a lot of these are more coronavirus focused.
Miss Kathleen, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that presentation. So what's your advice to MSMEs during the COVID-19 times?
I think I have three pieces of advice. The first one is to email me, uh, info@rumarocket.com. So let's work together to find a solution that can keep you guys running. The second one is not to be afraid of change. Because realistically, the change is gonna happen, and at the speed that the change is happening now, people who don't adapt basically, yeah, die. And at the end of the day, when small businesses die, they bring a whole community of people with it. So when you think about, let's say, what it means to survive in this kind of environment, it's really about looking beyond how processes and things are done to new ways of doing things. So if you're a restaurant and you want to pivot, for example, is it uh, just about delivering food, or is it about creating experiences? Or now that people are locked in quarantine, maybe instead of just delivering food, you can package a whole Valentine's Day or romantic day experience and basically combine the food as part of that experience. So if you think about it, the best way to move forward is to broaden your horizons and not to focus on where you're at, but on what you could be. Because at the end of the day, a lot of us, we don't have anything to lose really with innovating and improving the way we do things in this time.
That's Miss Kathleen Yu, the CEO of Rumaracket.com.
Eagle Broadcasting Corporation and Globe My Business present Open for Business.
With the COVID-19 pandemic, we have seen many hotels, restaurants, and cafes close shops following the enhanced community quarantine guidelines of the government. We are joined today by the Industry Marketing Manager for hotels, restaurants, and cafes of Globe My Business, Ms. Frances. Frances has been a marketer for over 7 years now and has extensive experience in digital marketing, having worked in different industries as part of Globe My Business. Frances empowers Filipino entrepreneurs with the right business knowledge and tools and solutions to help them succeed. She is an avid foodie and dreams to someday open her own restaurant as well. Frances.
Hi, good morning, Cesar, and good morning to all the viewers of Open for Business. Thanks for that introduction. Again, I'm Frances Caluya, Industry Manager for Hotels, Restaurants, and Cafes from Globe My Business. Globe My Business is the SME arm of Globe, dedicated to empowering Filipino entrepreneurs to create their own success. So we are your trusted digital solutions provider, no matter where you are in your business journey. This means that whether you're just starting out or an already established business that's ready to scale, Globe My Business has the right technology for your needs, especially in times like these where a lot of SMEs really need that support, as much support as they could get. Over the next few minutes, I'd like to identify specific business pain points and how SMEs can harness the power of technology to address them. It's actually very interesting that Kathleen, the first speaker earlier, talked about the shift required in terms of processes and people, especially for SMEs. And I'd like to supplement that with what I'll talk about this morning. Because really, technology is the platform or the tool that makes it easier for businesses to achieve that shift. The past few weeks, I'm sure, have been really tough for entrepreneurs. Even with big companies, even with us at Globe, we've really had to shift our the way we do business to a work from home setup. Trading in days that start with traveling to your office, in days that are spent physically together with your teammates, to days where video conferencing platforms like the one we're on now are actually the norm. Specific to the industries that I handle, the hotel and restaurant industry, this kind of setup is actually particularly challenging because the hospitality industry in its essence has a lot to do with personal face-to-face interactions to allow the businesses to deliver great customer service. The challenge for the industry is how to continue to deliver that given today's circumstances. For other industries like the retail industry, the question is, how do businesses deal with mall closures and the mandate of the government for people to stay at home? For the manufacturing and logistics industries, on the other hand, the main challenge is ensuring a consistent flow of the supply chain given the restrictions on transportation of not just people, but also goods and services. The basic need that these businesses really have is connectivity. How do we stay connected and coordinated as a business? How do businesses ensure that teams are in constant communication? And how should businesses stay in touch with their customers? Today, luckily, that's a little bit easier with the accessibility of the internet and the persistence of mobile phones. So, in particular for the retail and food industry, there has been a higher demand for online purchases and transactions. So, your on-ground selling before has to shift to online. E-commerce sites, social media are now must-haves for businesses in these industries, at least for those who can stay operational during the community quarantine period. To do this efficiently, first off, your teams have to be well coordinated. You have to make sure that your workforce has the access to information, reports, and communication that they need. And that's really the first step in ensuring that you're able to do this. I mentioned earlier that connectivity is a basic need. You have to empower your workforce to stay connected, either via the internet, via their mobile phones. For employees that can stay safe at home but don't have access to the internet yet, we've actually seen a lot of our customers purchasing prepaid internet kits for them to stay online and connected. The advantage of a prepaid internet really is that there's no installation required and business owners won't have to deal with monthly fees. On top of that, solutions like G Suite, which allows remote access to files and documents, are critical for coordination as well. I can imagine an employee working for a retail industry. If I have to check the inventory for my supervisor, for the business owner that I work for, if I'm able to do this via the internet, that would be a very convenient setup. So I don't have to go to the shop just to check how many stocks I have left. But that's all about your employees. Your internal setups that's well coordinated via the internet is your first step as a business. The other side of the formula is keeping in touch with your customers. Yes, they aren't in your shop or your restaurant, but that doesn't mean that you can't continuously engage them and have this conversation with them. A lot of the restaurants and shops now have social media. They have Facebook presence or Instagram presence. But aside from this, you can also still talk to your customers directly via SMS, which still remains as a primary channel for communication, especially in the Philippines. Amber, which is an auto SMS blast tool that Globe My Business offers, is one such solution that SMEs can utilize to do this. Not only can you communicate directly with your customers, this also allows businesses to be efficient cost-wise because it's cheaper than sending out text manually, and efficient time-wise since you don't have to send the text or the SMS one by one to your customer base. If you're looking at other industries like the manufacturing and logistics industry, it's imperative that you're able to track your deliveries and the movement of goods from anywhere. Again, luckily now with technology, we can easily do this via the internet. A lot of delivery vehicles can now be equipped with trackers so that entrepreneurs can monitor even as they stay safe at home. Another critical thing is checking in with your employees and workforce via video conferencing tools, again, like Zoom or Google Hangouts Meet, which is actually part of the G Suite solution I mentioned earlier. These are fast and efficient ways to do this. Even disbursing payroll and allowances are now easier powered by the internet with e-wallets such as GCash. And we actually have a specific solution that allows entrepreneurs to do this efficiently. It's the MyBiz wallet, also powered by GCash. But again, let's not forget the basic. Calls and text via mobile are still also an efficient way to stay connected. So you have to empower your workforce, especially your supervisors, your managers, to stay in touch with internal teams and suppliers by providing them with mobile plans that allow them to call and text other people, even those on other networks. Lastly, for the hotel industry, we've seen an occupancy drop to as low as 25% at the start of the year. So hoteliers have to ensure that once the quarantine is lifted and as they start to recover, as the tourism industry starts to recover, their room rates and property management are set up to maximize profitability and at the same time ready to deliver great customer service. Hotel management solution is a great piece of technology that would allow business owners in the hotel industry to do this, because with one view, you could see your bookings from different platforms, third-party booking sites, even your own platform, so that you can optimize your prices and at the same time have one view for your entire hotel at your disposal. So basically, that's it. Technology, different types of technology and solutions that enables businesses to quickly shift business models and the way they do their business on a day-to-day basis. When in the past, technology used to be reserved for the innovators and the advanced entrepreneurs, today it's really a basic requirement for any business, any SME, to complement the agile setup of processes and people that are now also a basic requirement.
Ms. Francis?
Yes.
Yeah, again, thank you for this very insightful presentation. And personally, I'd like to thank you again because it's nice to work with you again. The first time was, of course, when you guested in a whole hour at in Open for Business. Now, we're getting some questions also from our YouTube channel and also on our Facebook account, our Facebook page. So one of the questions is that I agree to this, no one expected this to happen. Businesses, families, nobody expected this. And when it happened, they are not prepared for their available technology. So in this case, the question is, what would be the best investment for companies during these times when working remotely is the mandate now for non-frontliners?
Right. So I've been talking about the basic requirement, which really is connectivity. So the fastest and most efficient way for business owners to do this, to provide their employees with connectivity is through, I think, first prepaid internet kits, because again, they don't require installation. No one would have to come to your house to set it up. And it's really a quick and easy solution to allow your employees to connect to the internet. Another technology or another tool that you can provide your employees, your workforce, is the right mobile plan. So if they need to stay in touch with a lot of different people via call, they have to send out texts to many different suppliers or even customers. Their mobile plan has to be able to do that for them. So calls and texts, not just within the Globe network, but also to other networks as well, is essential, especially in times like this.
Now, Francis, not a lot of the business owners have a big budgets like the ones with the large corporations. So the question is, what would be your advice for those with small to medium workforce?
So my advice for them is you identify first the people that are critical for your operations to continue. And then the critical workforce is what you supply with the technology that they need. So at least you have the basics covered, and you can still remain operational and connected through tools like those.
Okay, I think this one is related, but maybe you can add more to your response. What kind of support is Globe My Business giving to MSMEs, especially to those who may have minimal resources and who do not have enough cash flows and are faced with uncertainty as to when the lockdowns will be lifted or extended?
Right. So first off, as a globe-wide initiative, we did have a 30-day payment extension, bill payment extension for all Globe customers. So whether you're an SME or consumer, you can avail of this 30-day bill payment extension. At the same time, what we did for Globe Rewards points, we extended the validity date, and we can actually empower our customers with the option to donate it to the to PGH, to the Philippine General Hospital. For SMEs in particular, we continue, Globe My Business continues to be there for them at this very challenging time by continuously providing them with the right tools and solutions. We have several of our relevant products at special offers, so that we understand that it's really challenging for them in terms of resources now. And so relaxed requirements, special rates can really help the entrepreneurs continue supplying their workforce with the right technology and their business with the right technology, even with the situation now.
Thank you very much, Miss Francis. It's nice to work with you again. And of course, with Globe My Business, please give my regards to Miss Sarah and Miss Gail. I hope both of them are watching now. Okay.
Yes, they probably are watching now. It's really great to be here again, Cesar. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much to Miss Francis and Globe My Business. Open for Business Forum will be back. Stay tuned for this pause for these reminders.
Alamin ang mga dapat at hindi dapat gawin ngayong panahon ng Enhanced Community Quarantine dahil sa banta ng COVID-19. Taong bahay muna ang lahat sa panahon ng quarantine, maliban lang sa mga sumusunod na ang lakad ay mahalaga. Ang taong mamimili para sa isang bahay o pamilya, ang mga empleyadong kasama sa skeletal workforce ng ilang kumpanya, mga health worker sa mga ospital at klinik, mga naghahatid ng pagkain, gamot, tubig at iba pang pangangailangan, mga pari, pastor o imam na maglilibing, mga diplomatiko, mga piling opisyal ng gobyerno, mga hukom at prosecutor, mga magsasaka at mangingisda, at mga miyembro ng AFP, pulisya at iba pang otoridad. Dahil delikado ang sakit na COVID-19, higit na hindi papayagang lumabas ang mga senior citizen, mga may iniindang sakit at mga buntis. Bawal din ang gumala at umistambay sa daan. Manatili sa loob ng bahay. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa. Kaya natin to.
For entrepreneurs, one of the innovative ways to gain immediate recognition is through pursuing a franchising model. And the whole franchising business is also under a digital transformation. With us is Miss Bubbles Lim, who will talk about franchising in the digital age. Ms. Lim is the managing director and co-founder of Easy Franchise. Her work experience in startup businesses spans almost 10 years. She found her start at Groupon before lending her sales and marketing expertise to Rocket Internet as their operations manager. She was the marketing and operations director of the taxi hailing app Easy Taxi from 2013 to 2015. She also co-founded several tech startups, namely flyspaces.com, crate.ph, and Easy Franchise, a platform for all things franchising, whose co-founders are Jose Magsaysay and RJ Ledesma. Bubbles?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about franchising in the digital age, and hopefully we could tackle also on the fourth industrial revolution in franchising. So nowadays, everyone and everything we do are driven by technology. When we wake up in the morning, the first thing we do is, of course, check our phones, open Facebook or IG, and to check current events or even check how our friends are doing. Grab and Uber has revolutionized transportation, just like how Food Panda and Lala Food have done it for food delivery. So I think it's a no-brainer that digitalization is the fourth industrial revolution, not just in franchising but across all segments. So with that, quite frankly, it's more than just creating an app or having an online platform for your users. It's really about disruption. In the franchising industry, through technology, there's a huge opportunity to grow the franchise industry. And again, other sectors from transport and food and beverage have seen huge growth and development in introducing disruptive technology. For many years, marketing your franchise would mean giving out flyers, making cold calls, and giving out pamphlets or even putting out billboards, which doesn't really allow direct measurement of conversion. How well you adapt in this interesting and changing times, especially now, during the enhanced community quarantine, really determines your franchise success. So while digital is the main reason why Fortune 500 companies disappeared, digital is also the main reason why some of the Fortune 500 companies still exist. And same in the franchising industry, digitalization really is now the new way of franchising your business. And because digitalization allows you to measure and create actions based on data. And I guess through digitalization, there are certain measures that you can create to have a better user experience. First, digitalization allows you to create ongoing value for your users or your potential franchise. As a small and medium franchise business, creating products and services that have continuous value for your users help you allow or determines how your business will succeed. To give an example, with Easy Franchise, how we create ongoing value for users are by creating a franchise directory that lists brands for free. So we also allow them to match with these brands and choose the right franchise brands, whether the brands that are on the platform are our partner or not. We help them decide to choose the right franchise business. So that's the ongoing value that we create for our users. Now, another would be like, as a franchisor naman, if you are a milk tea business, let's say, of course, milk tea right now is, some would say it's a fad. Later on, mawawala na siya. But how well you create or update or create continuous value for your brand, just like to give a good example, Happy Lemon did. Happy Lemon has been in the industry for 2000, from 2009 or 8, and up to now they're still existing because they innovate their products and services. And how does the digitalization help with this one? It's because, again, by creating or collecting data that allows you to, or creating actions that allows you that are data driven, basically. So another thing would be, through digitalization, franchise businesses create memorable experiences. Searching for or matching with the right franchise business can be a daunting task. Again, with the traditional experience of going to an expo, going around, collecting flyers, not mentioning you still have to buy a ticket. As a franchise brand, it would be hard for your brand to stand out because there are hundreds of brands out there or during the expo. And they're all flyering and giving out or creating memorable experiences for your users. So it's not, for you as a brand, it's really hard to stand out. So there isn't really a memorable experience for a user to have brand recall. For example, let's say with us, again, with Easy Franchise, how do we do this? No, we've created a Match Me service wherein we match potential users to franchises based on their preferences, based on whatever, based on whether it's a industry that they prefer, or their budget, or their location. So it allows them to get a curated list of the franchise brands. They won't have to go out there to check 1,600 brands, and there are around 3,000 actually in the Philippines. So it's so hard to choose the right franchise business. It could be daunting. With Easy Franchise, we help them match with the right franchise brands. Now, again, third would be, through digitalization, franchise businesses can create immediate fulfillment. Demonstrating the value to your potential franchisees is almost as important as communicating it to them. No? And the best way to communicate with your clients is to create content for them regularly. Some would use Facebook, some would use IG or any online platforms. If you put together FAQs that allows you to help to answer inquiries of your users, that is also good. If you could subscribe to a CRM tool that allows you also to manage your inquiries in a timely manner, then that would be great. Because if your potential consumers are interested with your brand, I'm sure they have questions and you should be able to answer them immediately. Fourth would be, through digitalization, franchise business can go anywhere and anytime. Right now, you are limited by your, of course, geographical location, no? But right now, through digital, you're no longer limited through that. This time, as a franchise brand, you can even reach the OFWs. Again, there are a lot of platforms that allow you to do that. There's Facebook and IG. But through Easy Franchise, you are also allowed to do that through our tools and services also. And if you're still managing your applications through forms and confidential, you have to give them a printed form, then you have to go digital. Remember, digital is the main reason why Fortune 500 companies disappeared in the 2000s. So I don't think I can emphasize that enough. Lastly, creating personalized moments. Through digitalization, you can create personalized experience for your potential franchisees. You can increase touch points by not just replying or talking to them through expos. You can continue to help them decide whether they will push through with their applications or not, and manage their inquiries. No, there are a lot of marketing automations out there that you can use, that allows you to automate. There are softwares that allow you to automate all marketing activities, such as um, emailing, text messaging, and all those things. It changes the way you manage your campaigns across multiple platforms.
Before I let you go, Miss Bubbles, here's another question. I hope, as much as possible, I don't want to edit out. Okay, the question is, do you advise us to sign up for a franchise during these times, or can we wait for everything to clear up? Is it cheaper to get a franchise now?
That's a good question, because right now, since we have a lot of time on our plate, um, it's a good time to really search and canvas for the right brand to partner with as a franchisee, kasi it's important you're able to decide whether and check these franchise brands if they are ready, or they are sustainable. They are sustainable business, and it allows you to, of course, do your due diligence. And as a franchisee also, syempre, franchising kasi has 90% success rate because of the business plans that franchisors put in place and passing it down to their franchisees. So these franchise systems allows them to really manage the franchise business. So I think even if it dies down, when this dies down, or even before COVID, franchise systems are in place naman na. So operation, supply chain, management, marketing, and sales plans were created na. So again, if you're going to invest now, pwede pa rin naman siya. I mean, personally for me, we are able to convert pa nga. Actually, we're getting still leads right now because a lot of people have time on their plate.
Yeah.
Kasi again, after this dies down, of course, you have to go back to normal. You have to bounce back. And one of the things that you can invest on is franchising. That again, it has 90% success rate.
Thank you so much, Miss Bubbles Lim, General Manager and co-founder of Easy Franchise. Thank you so much for attending the show. All businesses are affected by COVID-19, and the main ones that are hardly hit are tourism and real estate. However, we still see positivity if we base our assumptions on the track record of real estate in the Philippines. To give us some data in the Philippines on the market outlook from the real estate perspective is JM Figurasin, Manager of Project Leasing and Tenant Solutions of Lubian Realty Group, and is mainly responsible for providing partner companies of LRG with the development of strategies and management of their commercial property portfolio. JM has been working in the real estate industry since 2012. He has worked with Rockwell Land Corporation and Fortune 500 company landlord representation. JM is a core member of the Lubian Realty Group, who is involved in real estate sales, marketing, and business development. JM?
Hi, Sir Cesar. Good morning, and thank you for having me here. Today, I want to share with you what we've been seeing in the market the past couple of months. This is from the World Economic Forum, and nothing is as dramatic as starting 2020 with all of these challenges. There's a lot of global tensions around the world. We have the US-China trade war, we have the Brexit. In the ASEAN region, we have the South China Sea dispute, the Australian bushfires, and above all, we have the coronavirus. a new epidemic that's affecting us all over the world, and not just the Filipino people, but also the international community. And we are talking also about geopolitical issues, societal, environmental, technological, and etc., etc. And with the current crisis that we have, companies should always be ready with their business continuity plan in the workplace, because we can't predict the next crisis, but we can be prepared for it. So I've shared here a sample cycle which you can implement to ensure your operations doing good. No? And if we implement this as early as possible, this could save us millions in our businesses. I'd like to share with you this slide. This is the tourism receipts as a percentage of the Philippine GDP. And the Philippine tourism is heavily affected by the coronavirus. Almost all industries, hotel, retail, and tourism destinations are almost zero in sales. And if you look back at this history, we have three major setbacks. We have the 97 Asian financial crisis, we have the SARS outbreak, and then the global financial crisis. And right now, we cannot give any numbers on how much this COVID-19 will definitely affect us. But we can do a forecast. If the COVID-19 will have the same effect of the SARS outbreak, then we are projecting a 0.3 to 0.5% drop in our GDP. And this is the office demand year on year. So far, as of 2019, we have 1.1 million square meters of take-up. The provincial market outlook, as I've mentioned, it's growing, and they're around 10 to 15% of the total market supply here in the Philippines. And then the township developments. This one is also new. Why do we think that this is the way to go? Because people wanted to be in an area wherein they want to live, work, and play. So it's more about the quality of life. And the retail market outlook, this is growing. If you've seen this slide, our retail and e-commerce is growing, but it's not that big compared to other countries. So I'd like to mention, siguro yung average spending natin is around $20 to $30 per person. Wherein if you compare it to our our Western countries, it's around the minimum of $2,000 to $3,000 spending per person. So the fusion of the retail and e-commerce is going there. It's going to happen in the several years. And with the growth of e-commerce, this will also result to logistic companies finding warehouses for their facilities. It is getting there. As you can see in the slide, the SM Malls is partnering with Lazada and then with their logistics company. Same with the Ayala and the Zalora group. And then the residential market outlook, as of 2019, we have completed around 376,000, but we are expecting around 15,500 to be added this year. And most of that is geared towards the mid-end market, around 6 million to 9 million pesos. And in terms of pricing, it's still Makati and BGC, which is the highest, around 300,000 to 450,000 pesos. In fact, if you pass by Ayala Avenue, you will see a new development there by the SM and Federal. And if you think about it, it's still pre-selling, but they're pricing it at around 500,000 pesos per square meter. Can you imagine if it's already up and running, how much the prices would that be? So that's how crazy the prices have been in the past few years. So it keeps on increasing. There's a big demand, and supply is really coming in also. And then we have the co-living spaces. And this one is also a new trend, like the flexible office spaces. But this is residential. The boutique developers are eyeing all over the fringe areas in central business districts. And they are targeting the young millennials and young startup families between 20 to 35 years old. And an average price, siguro around 7,000 per person. It's very affordable. And people right now, the young millennials, they don't want to travel 2 to 3 hours just to get to work. They want something near the city, near the mall, wherein they can enjoy. As I've mentioned, ito na nga yung sinasabi nilang quality of life. Kesa matraffic sila ng ganito katagal, Mas pipiliin na nila na tumira sa maliliit na spaces and then they can just easily walk to work. Comfortability, quality, that's it. Why the Philippines? First is we are cost competitive. And then we have a big talent pool here in the country. And the Philippine economy is growing at around 6% plus. The office, the residential, the retail is increasing year on year, meaning that there's a big demand. And then last August, inflation fell 1.7%. And currently, Philippines is one of the best countries to invest in all over the world. No? And before I finish my slide, I just want to share some thoughts. And first is the COVID-19 will definitely affect the Philippine economy. If you consider the tourism delays, the POGO delays, this will easily equate to around 1% loss to the Philippine GDP. And second, despite all the hurdles and all the lockdowns that's happening, we are very optimistic that the Philippine economy will still continue to grow. And we are projecting higher, around 6.2%. And then third is the retail and e-commerce will continue to grow, but this will result to higher needs for warehouses for their logistic companies. And then the provincial side will also continue to grow. The current administration is pushing them to build. So the cities, provincial cities like Cebu, Davao, Clark will continue to grow too. And this will result to decongestion in Metro Manila. And lastly, the Philippine real estate will experience a general slowdown. But we are very positive that by second half of this year, around mid-June and July, everything will bounce back. So that's it to finish my presentation. And if you have any questions, this is our team. If you need any help in real estate expertise, Tobian Realty can definitely help you.
Hi, JM. Thank you very much for your presentation. We also have our viewers who are joining us in this digital forum. Ms. Joanne Soriano is from New York. Your question, Joanne.
You actually somewhat answered it. I was going to ask if this would be the best time to invest in real estate.
Is it, JM?
Well, Joanne, to answer that, no. In terms of pricing, as what I've mentioned, it's just a general suggestion. So if people has an extra money to spend right now, then I would say that this is the best time to buy properties, because first, the prices is definitely going to be much lower than the normal ones that we are offering the market. And second, the property owners and developers, sellers, they can offer flexibility options to buyers who will buy at this point in time.
JM, just to butt in, and Joanne, just to follow up. When you said it's cheaper or more affordable, gaano ba kababa yung ibinagsak ng presyo? Are you looking at a certain percentage on how the developers have really put their prices down?
It depends kasi, Sir Cesar. So I can't say how much the prices will drop, but given that the bank rates are much lower, the interest rates, I think probably siguro safe around 10 to 20% lower than the usual price. But at the end of the day, it still depends on the property seller on how much he or she is willing to give it to the buyers.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, JM, and thank you to Ms. Sheila Lobian, and of course to Lobian Realty Group for supporting the first public digital forum of Open for Business. Thank you very much, JM, for your time.
Thank you, Sir Cesar.
And thank you very much for watching Open for Business Forum, and thank you to all our speakers. Thank you to our co-sponsor, Globe My Business, and our sponsors, Easy Franchise, Multisys Technologies Corporation, and Lobian Realty Group. Join us again in the next episodes of Open for Business for more insights from CEOs, thought leaders, and industry experts promoting business development in the Philippines. See you again every Saturday and Sunday here in Open for Business, where we discuss business information deliver the latest business news to keep you informed and open for business and be ahead of the curve from vision to action. You're on Facebook Live on Eagle News, and you can watch us again in the video section of the Eagle News Facebook page and on eaglenewslive.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Eagle News. For OFB Forum and Open for Business, this is Cesar Vallejos. Have a great day.
Eagle Broadcasting Corporation and Globe My Business present Open for Business.
This digital forum is also EBC's response to adapt to the work-from-home initiatives of businesses to avoid the spread of the virus, as we also took advantage.
Can start their online business now.
Don't be afraid to try new things.
We are here to assist you and also to call the attention and also na makipagtulungan din sa mga government offices.
Eagle Broadcasting